She says, sometimes things are not as black and white as we are led to believe, and we must remember not to rush to judgment of those who are different. She, too, liked the fact that a ending left the door open for a sequel. There's a lot of eating of cat food in this movie.
Oh.
God.
Yummy.
Movie guy went to see District 9. Again, about a spaceship full of aliens arriving in South Africa, apparently having some kind of mechanical problem. The South African military goes to investigate and finds out that the aliens were stuck here and were in bad shape, so they built a small town for the aliens to live in. They thought it would last a couple of weeks. It ended up being 20 years. Now the people of Johannesburg are tired of the aliens and to consider them a nuisance and want them out. Mm-hmm. Again, like happened back in the 70s and so. The government builds a new settlement for them, tries to evict them from their old place into their new place. The main character, who, does he not remind you of the guy from 40-Year-Old Virgin?
Steve Carell?
Steve Carell. Does he not look a lot like Steve Carell? I mean, it's not Steve Carell, don't get me wrong.
Right.
But doesn't he look like him? I thought that's who I kept picturing when I saw this guy.
Okay.
And his mannerisms and stuff a little bit. Maybe not.
Well, it's your opinion, Bob.
So again, they try to evict all these aliens, but things go terribly wrong. The main character gets infected with an alien substance, and terrible things happen.
Disgusting things happen.
The aliens are portrayed more human than monster. And the boy brought up a good question. Mm-hmm. How did they learn each other's language? Because,
over the course of 20 years, you would.
Yeah, and I'm not spoiling anything when I say that the aliens just kind of talk in a bunch of clicks.
Right.
Yeah. So they don't even make words, but they can understand them. I don't know. He said he enjoyed the special effects and the carnage.
Yeah, there was a lot of carnage.
Let's see here. There are some grotesque scenes, so people with weak stomachs should be cautioned.
Yeah, if you have a weak stomach, just don't go to this one.
Yes. By the way, I'm telling you, if we ever get invaded by aliens and they have weapons like these aliens do,
we're done.
We're screwed.
We're done.
We're like in the movie.
They were awesome.
Little red spots.
I wish they'd have done more
road.
with those weapons.
Yeah.
Because they had a lot of them that they showed you when they were testing everything.
Right.
They only used a couple of them. So it would have been awesome just to go. Maybe they'll do that in the second movie.
Now, Sue went to see Time Traveler's Wife.
Lame.
She said, read the book first. The book is excellent.
There you go.
If you read the book, the movie makes sense. If you don't read the book, it seems a little confusing. The ending in the book is much better than the movie, which we've heard. Mm-hmm. And I think some of the best details were left out of the movie. Overall, movie okay. Book much better. She also saw Juli and Julia, which again is not playing around here.
Why?
I don't know.
We need to write corporate a letter.
Sue says, excellent. My husband went as a favor.
She owes
And
him.
he ended up loving it too. So, Meryl Streep deserves an Academy Award. Love the costumes and the scenery of Europe. When it was over, I couldn't believe 2 hours had flown by. I give it 5 stars.
Wow.
By the way, is there a movie that features in a loving way the funeral home director? I mean, is there like
My
the funeral
Girl.
home's wife? My
Girl.
My Girl?
You've never seen My Girl?
Is that the one with Macaulay Culkin?
Yeah.
No.
And
where everybody dies at the end or something?
No, they don't.
Somebody's got a terminal illness.
It's a family-run funeral home.
Really?
And yes.
Does hilarity ensue?
Sometimes, but not involving
Do you have like
the funeral
casket
home.
races and stuff around the parking lot? And
I don't know him. I don't know him.
I'm just curious. No, I've never seen My Girl.
Tim's never coming back here again.
Was that prior to Michael Jackson getting involved in his life or after?
Prior.
Prior, okay. So he was still normal at that time.
Yes.
Okay.
Rent it. You can Netflix it.
I can Netflix it.
Yeah.
Which I did this past week, and we'll get to that.
Okay.
And Anne went to see Juli and Julia. She said, I saw this movie with my 23-year-old son. We both loved it. Both of us laughed out loud on a number of occasions. Meryl was hilarious. The entire cast was great. I will definitely go see it again and buy it when it comes out.
Ooh.
Now, the first movie we watched this week
On rental?
was a movie called Miss Potter.
Yes.
Which starred Renee Zellweger.
That's an old one.
Well, the wife, she,
It's supposed to be fabulous.
she's got all day,
I
to
know.
go up and down the list and
I
stuff.
know.
And basically, what it is, it's Renee Zellweger stars as Beatrix Potter, who writes the Peter Cottontail stories. I had no, she's just like, you want to watch this movie? It's like, yeah, start it up. I was reading the paper and stuff, and it actually was quite good.
Gigi and friends rented this. They should have just bought it. You remember Colin?
Right, I remember
Colin J.
Colin J.
They've probably all seen it like 50 times and have probably paid $3,000 just in renting this movie. Because they've repeatedly watched it. They loved it so much.
It's very good.
Yeah.
It's like an hour and 20 minutes. It's not very long.
I've heard it was really excellent.
And it's basically the story of how Beatrix Potter becomes a worldwide author and how back in the 1800s over in England, women aren't supposed to become authors. Women are supposed to get of her stature. Because she comes from a well-to-do family. They're supposed to marry others from well-to-do families.
And breed.
And breed and live well-to-do lives. And she's like, no, I want to write books and paint and stuff. And I didn't realize that she did her own illustrations. I thought she wrote and somebody else, but no, she did it all.
Neat.
So, yeah, it was very good.
Miss Potter.
Right. The other two we got,
yay!
I took Julie's advice.
Yeah.
Now, before we get to that, I have a little story. A couple of years ago, I'm at my younger brother's house. And we're talking movies because he buys a lot of DVDs. Tom.
Okay.
He's a movie person.
Okay.
He and the wife, they love the movies.
Right.
So he buys two of what he called the funniest movies ever made. You will die laughing. You will pee your pants. You will split your gut. You'll have to get the stapler out because your sides will be splitting.
Okay.
And he hands them to me. Take them home. Watch them.
Love them.
Love them to death because you're just going to freak. They were Anchorman.
Oh, no.
And Old School.
Now, Old School
And I didn't laugh during either one of them because they were both awful movies.
They're so quotable, though, Bob.
You're my boy, Blue. You're my boy.
Classy, San Diego.
That's all I know. You're my boy, Blue. You're my boy.
I close my eyes. That was hilarious.
So... I give them back to him, and he says, how were they? And both the wife and I in unison say, they sucked. And then, big arguments and this and that.
Right.
So last week, I take Julie's advice.
Which is...
You're going to die laughing.
Good.
These are the greatest movies of all time.
Good advice.
They're hilarious.
That's exactly how I said it.
Hilarious.
Yes.
So Wednesday night, we watch 17 again.
Which I didn't say was hilarious. I said there were hilarious parts, but it was a good movie.
Which stars Matthew Perry and Zac Efron from Disney.
Yes.
Which when it came out to theater last year, we said avoid that because it looks stupid.
That's true.
And I was 100% right.
No, you weren't.
I
rescind that opinion because it was good.
It basically takes the movie It's a Wonderful Life and combines it with if the movie Big with Tom Hanks were switched around and he went from big to little, it's the exact same thing. Even to the point where my kids were sitting there and when Bill Murray's brother, who's the gray-haired janitor.
Bill Murray.
Yeah, Bill Murray from Stripes and all of that. That's his older brother.
Oh, okay.
Brian Doyle Murray. That's his brother.
Brian
but anyway,
Boitano.
So... here's this janitor that hears Matthew Perry complaining about how his life is awful. Gee, who does that sound like? Oh, yeah, George Bailey. And then all of a sudden, magical things happen, and even the kids say, oh, that's Clarence from It's a Wonderful Life, the guardian angel. It's the exact same thing. And so he goes back, and he becomes a 17-year-old again, and...
Hence the name.
And hilarity does not ensue.
It's cute. And so is Zac Efron. Bob.
So then the next night...
what did the others think of it? Honestly.
The kids liked it.
See?
The wife, nah. So then last night, we sit down and we watch I Love You, Man.
Yes!
With Paul Rudd. Is it Rudd or Rudd? And then who was the other? Jason...
oh.
Somebody, the other guy.
I'll find out.
His new best man.
Yes.
First of all, I don't encourage anybody to sit down and watch this movie with their kids sitting right next to them.
Jason Segel.
Thank you.